Hey, what's up? Okay, so I am going to answer some questions that I've been getting via my inbox, and I'm going to discuss some topics that are relative to travel and COVID 19. But before I start, I'm going to premise by saying that number one, currently no one has all the answers. And number two, if you are not comfortable traveling during this time or in the upcoming months, just don't. Do what feels good for you. But I'm here to discuss travel and how to stay safe while you're going to travel in the next, again, upcoming months to 2021. So, people are asking me all the time, is it safe to book travel now? What happens if my trip gets canceled? Is my trip going to get canceled? Again, back to point one. Again, no one has all the answers. But what I can tell you is I do think that it's a smart idea to book travel now. And I will talk about 3 reasons why booking travel right now is a smart thing to do. So number one, everywhere this is a worldwide pandemic. This is not localized to United States or Maryland, where I'm based out of. This is a worldwide issue. So what that means is that every country is taking precautions when they are looking at, future travel and border restrictions and things of that nature. So number one, a lot of hotels are lowering their occupancy rate. So that means that when you go to a hotel, instead of it being 500 people, they're now lowering their occupancy rate to lower than half of that. So for that reason, when you go to these hotels or these resorts, you probably are not going to see the normal amount of people that you typically would see on a regular travel day or a regular summer, like summer of 2019, which was just last year. Okay, so that's number one. That also brings me to the second point, is that booking travel now is great because since they are lowering the occupancy rates, hotels are going to sell out quicker. So, typically you could book a hotel at the last minute and grab a room. But now, because they're going to limit the rooms that they're selling, you're not always going to be able to book those last minute rooms at that last minute rate. So that's another reason why booking travel now is great. Are you going to get your money back? So here's how most companies are dealing with, restrictions and border bans and things of that nature. So if your hotel and or flight is canceled because there are border restrictions, you are entitled a full refund. Now, if you personally opt out due to personal reasons and you're not comfortable traveling, then that's a different story. So in that regard, they're going on a week by week basis. So each company, each vendor, each hotel, each airline has their own policies. The good thing is that the companies that I work for are offering incentives to cancel and rebook. So they understand that you're not comfortable traveling. They're very empathetic with that. And they don't want to lose the money either. So a lot of these companies are doing is they're offering incentives like 25% on what you already paid to travel. So for example, if your trip was $1,000, you can cancel, get a credit for future travel, and that credit would be for $1,250. So you get an increase of 25% on the travel that you've already booked. So that's a good thing about booking travel now, is you're not going to end up losing money. The last reason is now is the time to splurge. So even though prices are low, prices are definitely low right now. We've all seen those $40, $50 flights. Don't be cheap. And I say that because if you're going to book a $40 flight, the next person's going to book a $40 flight, and the next person can book a $40 flight. This is actually the time to quote unquote splurge. So book that first class flight. If you've ever wanted to fly first class and you have the funds to do so, book it. You're going to be in the front of the plane. You're going to be away from most of the people. So why not book it now? If you want a nice room, take advantage of the room that you book, because like me, if I'm traveling, I don't necessarily want to be around a whole bunch of people. I do want to be on the beach. I do want to get in the pool. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to book a room with my own private pool. So that when I do want to access the pool, guess what? I'm going to hop in the pool when I want by myself and get out and not have to worry about cross contamination in the water. Again, I don't know how COVID-19 is transferred from one person to the next, and I don't think all doctors have figured it out either. But what I can tell you is that if I'm out in my own private pool, during the duration that I'm there, I know that I'm not sharing it with anyone else. So book that first class flight, sis, bro, homie, whoever, do it if you can afford to. Don't be cheap. Book that nice room. Again, the nice rooms that you would have booked before are going to be at a lower rate, so book it. Swim out suites are nice, but the private pools are definitely a better go, simply because they're private. And there's a difference. The swim up suites connect to the room next to you, and then the private pool is simply just your pool. When you walk out, it's, your pool on your patio. So for those reasons, I think traveling now is great. Again, prices are low. If you have any additional questions, feel free to reach out to me. And hopefully, again, we'll be able to travel safely soon. Bye. I forgot one last thing. When picking your destination, pick somewhere that has low COVID cases, because why go somewhere that has crazy cases when you can stay home and catch COVID? Go somewhere that's smart. I wouldn't suggest going to Europe right now. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense, But there are places in the Caribbean that have less than 10 cases of COVID, even now, to date. There are places that have less than 10 cases with no deaths. So I have that list. You can go on any government agency website to look at the amount of cases that each country has. And sometimes you don't want to look at the entire country either. Sometimes it's localized. Like, for example, Mexico. Mexico is a huge country. And Mexico does have over 1,000 cases, yet Cancun and Cabo do not. So, you might want to look at the more localized area that you intend on traveling to as well. So if you need some ideas for places and you are serious about traveling, I definitely can provide you with that list. I'm sorry, I keep playing with my hair. It's all over the place. So yeah, I'll check in with you guys later. If you have any questions, hit me up. Let me know. Bye.